I killed my brother on Christmas Eve, not with a gun or a knife, but with the truth he'd buried under 30 years of lies, watching his empire crumble as the cops dragged him away in handcuffs, his screams echoing like carols gone sour. It started with Grandpa's last gift. That goddamn brass key glinting under the tree lights, heavy as a noose in my palm, unlocking not just a fortune but the rotting heart of our family's American dream. And as the snow fell on our suburban McMansion in Bethesda, Maryland, I realized revenge wasn't sweet. It was the bitter dregs of eggnog laced with arsenic, forcing me to choose between justice and the blood that bound us. The key felt wrong in my hand from the moment Grandpa pressed it into my palm. It was Christmas morning in 2023. The kind of crisp December day in Bethesda where the Potomac River froze just enough to pretend it was a Norman Rockwell painting. But everyone knew the rot underneath. Our family, me. Jack Harlan. The fuck-up son who'd clawed his way back from rock bottom. My brother Ethan. The golden boy CEO with his perfect teeth and predatory smile. My sister Lila. The socialite leech married to old money and mom. The chain-smoking widow who traded her soul for Xanax prescriptions, gathered around the 12-foot Douglas fir like it was a funeral pyre. Not a celebration. Grandpa Harlan. Elias to the world, but the old bastard in whispers. Sat in his leather armchair like a deposed king. His liver-spotted hands trembling from the Parkinson's that had finally caught up to him. At 92, he was a relic of post-war America, built Ford factories in Detroit, flipped real estate in the 80s boom, and amassed a quiet fortune in offshore accounts that smelled like tax evasion and broken promises. He'd summoned us all from our scattered lives, me from a dingy apartment in DC's Anacostia where I scraped by as a PI, Ethan from his glass tower in Manhattan, Lila from her Pilates class in Palm Beach for this final family Christmas, as he croaked it over the phone. The gifts were parceled out with theatrical flair. Ethan first because of course he was. A Rolex Submariner. Engraved with, to the heir who builds empires. Lila got a diamond choker that screamed, trophy wife upgrade. Mom unwrapped a deed to a condo in Miami, her eyes lighting up like she'd hit the slots. I sat there, nursing a spiked coffee, expecting the usual pity present, a check for $5,000. Maybe. To get you back on your feet, Jackie boy. But Grandpa's eyes, milky blue and sharp as shattered glass, locked on mine. For you, Jack, he rasped, voice like gravel under tires. The box was small, unadorned, and inside nestled that key brass, ornate, attached to a fob stamped with coordinates, 38.987 degrees north, 77.036 degrees west. My family's polite smiles froze as he added, "It opens the vault at the old mill. 92 million in bearer bonds, gold, and deeds. All yours, if you dare claim it." The room went dead silent, save for the crackle of the fire and Mom's sharp inhale. Ethan's jaw clenched, that telltale vein pulsing in his temple, the same one that throbbed when he framed me for his embezzlement 15 years ago. Lila's manicured nails dug into her champagne flute. "What the hell, Dad?" Ethan finally spat, his Wall Street polish cracking. "Jack, the junkie dropout? After everything he's cost us." Grandpa didn't flinch. "Everything he's cost us? Boy. You mean everything you've stolen from him?" He coughed, a wet rattle, and waved off Mom's hovering. "Jack took the fall for you once, Ethan. Time to pay the piper." I stared at the key, heart hammering like a junkie's vain hunt. 15 years ago, fresh out of Georgetown with a poli-sci degree and stars in my eyes, I'd idolized Ethan. Big brother, mentor, the guy who pulled strings to get me my first job at his firm, Harlan Investments. But one night in '08, during the crash, I walked into his office and found him shredding documents, millions siphoned from client pensions into Cayman shells. He begged me to cover for him, said it was a family matter, that Mom's cancer treatments needed the cash. I was 22, stupid, loyal. I signed the false audit, took the heat when the feds came knocking. 5 years in federal lockup at USP Lewisburg, where I learned that family is just a word for shared betrayal. Out on parole in 2013, I was persona non grata, disbarred. Broke. Hooked on the oxy, they peddled inside to keep the peace. Ethan? He pivoted, rebranded as a Phoenix investor. Built a $500 million hedge fund on the bones of my sacrifice. Grandpa knew. He'd visited me once. In that gray visiting room, slipped me a burner phone with one message. Watch your brother. The truth's in the mail. Now. Here it was. Christmas 2023. And the key burned in my fist. This is bullshit, Lila hissed, her Botox face twisting. Jack's a liability. Remember the overdose? The DUIs. Mom nodded faintly, eyes darting to Ethan for cues. He stood, towering in his cashmere sweater, and snatched at the key. I yanked back, our eyes locking, his cold calculation against my seething rage. Give it here, Jackie. For the family's sake. Grandpa's laugh was a death rattle. Family sake? That's rich. Coming from you. He slumped, the effort done, and whispered to me as the nurse wheeled him away. Use it, boy. Burn it all down. That night, as snow blanketed the cul-de-sac lined with McMansions and American flags frozen stiff, I slipped out to the old Harlan Mill on the river's edge, abandoned since Dad's accident in '95. The one Ethan always called a suicide, but I knew was a push. The coordinates led me to a rusted vault door, the key turning with a groan that echoed my soul. Inside, stacks of bonds. Gold bars stamped pre-1971. Ledgers yellowed with ink, proof of Ethan's schemes. Dad's murder covered as insurance fraud. Even Mom's role in forging Grandpa's will drafts to cut me out. 92 million. Enough to buy freedom. Or weaponize hell. I pocketed a ledger, left the rest, and drove back through the glittering suburbs, the key now a talisman of vengeance. But as dawn broke, Ethan's text buzzed. We need to talk. Alone. For old time's sake. I knew it was a trap, but blood called to blood. Or maybe it was just the addict in me, chasing one last high. The meet was at our old hunting cabin in Shenandoah, a log relic Grandpa built in the '60s for teaching manhood. Ethan arrived in his Tesla, all smiles and craft bourbon, but his eyes were serpents. Jack. Listen, he started, pouring shots by the stone fireplace. Grandpa's senile. That key? A delusion. The mill's condemned, EPA violations up the ass. But I can help you. 50 grand. Clean slate. Sign this NDA. Forget the fairy tale. I sipped, the burn steadying me. Yeah? For what? Covering your ass again? I tossed the ledger on the table. Pages fanning open to Dad's autopsy. Blunt force trauma. Not the slip on ice they'd sold. Ethan's face drained of color. Where'd you? The vault. Ethan. Your Christmas present from hell. I leaned in, voice low. You pushed him. For the insurance. And when I covered your '08 scam, you let me rot. Whispered to the parole board about my instability.
Why?
He recovered fast. That boardroom pivot. Family protects family.
Jack.
You were weak, addicted, sloppy. I did what I had to. Dad? He was drunk, raging about the business. It was mercy. His hand crept toward his pocket phone. Maybe. Or worse. The cabin's isolation hit me. No signal. 20 miles from help. Just us and the ghosts. You murdered him, I said.
Standing.
And framed me for your greed. That's not protection. That's parasitism. Ethan lunged, faster than I expected, tackling me into the hearth. Stars exploded as my head cracked stone. We grappled, bourbon spilling like blood, his Rolex glinting as he choked. You think you're clean? You forged those audits. We're the same. I need him off. Grab the poker from the fire, hot iron, glowing.
No.
Brother. You're the monster. I was just the fool. I swung. Not to kill.
But to mark.
The poker seared his cheek. Flesh sizzling. His scream raw Americana, the howl of a wolf caught in its own trap. He bolted, staggering into the snow, leaving crimson footprints. Back in Bethesda by noon. I hid the ledger in my apartment's floor safe, the key around my neck like a dog tag. Mom called. Hysterical. Ethan's in the... What did you do? I hung up, heart pounding. The revenge had started, but it was just the opening act. Grandpa died that afternoon, heart failure. The doc said, but I knew it was release.
His will.
Probated rushed. Left the bulk to charity, but that key? It named me executor of the private assets. Ethan texted from his hospital bed. This isn't over. You'll pay. I smiled into the mirror, tracing the fresh bruise on my jaw. Merry Christmas, brother. Your nightmare's just begun. The days blurred into a January freeze. D.C. Gridlocked with salt trucks and federal workers nursing hangovers. I holed up in Anacostia, blinds drawn against the prying eyes of neighbors who knew me as that Harlan boy, the ex-con. The key hung heavy under my shirt, a constant itch, while I pored over the ledgers by lamplight, pages of deceit spanning decades. Ethan's '08 fraud was the tip. He'd laundered through Dad's mill, using shell companies tied to Russian oligarchs sniffing around Baltimore ports. But deeper cuts, Lila's affair with a family lawyer, forging Mom's signature on a $2 million loan for her spa startup, Mom's pill mill connections, prescribing opioids to Harlan clients in exchange for kickbacks that funded Ethan's college tuition. And Dad? Not just pushed, Ethan had staged the scene with antifreeze in his flask, toxicology buried by a bot coroner. It was a house of cards built on my back. And now I held the gale. But revenge isn't a solo gig in America. It's a contact sport with lawyers,
Feds,
and loose lips. I needed allies. Or, at least expendable pawns. First call, Tommy Ruiz, my old cellmate from Lewisburg, now a fixer in Baltimore's underbelly. Jackie Harlan?
Shit. Month.
Thought you were ghost. His laugh was gravel and gauloise. We met at a crab shack off I-95, steam rising like interrogations. Need dirt amplified, I said, sliding him a thumb drive of scanned ledgers. Ethan's got reach, NYPD contacts, SEC plants. Make it leak viral. Anonymous. Tommy eyed the drive, yellow teeth flashing. This Russian shit? That's FSB territory. You poke. They bite back. Cost you 20K up front. I wired it from a burner account, the last of my PI retainers. Make it hurt.
Tommy.
Front page. Not footnotes. Leaks hit like a nor'easter. TMZ first. Hedge fund heir linked to Russian money laundering. Family ties to '08 crash. Then Walpo. Digging into dad's suicide, quoting anonymous sources on the coroner's retirement package. Ethan's stock tanked 15% overnight. Clients fleeing like rats from a Potomac flood. He called. Voice iced fury. You son of a bitch. Meet me at the club. We end this. The club was the Metropolitan. K Street lair for lobbyists and spooks. Where Ethan held court in a corner booth. Cheek bandaged like a dueling scar. Sit, he commanded, as if I were still the little brother. Scotch on rocks materialized. You're playing with fire.
Jack.
Those leaks? Sloppy. Feds are circling your prints on those audits.
Iset. Key digging into my chest.
My prints? You mean the ones you forced? Or the ones from Dad's flask you wiped clean? His eyes narrowed. That flip, charm to venom. Dad was a drunk bully. Beating Mom. Gambling the business away. I saved us. You profited, parole cash for my slush fund. Lie, but smooth. The kind that sways juries. Drop it.
Jack.
Walk away with $1 million. Or I bury you again. Testimony on your instability. Dealers ready to swear you supplied the pills. Threat hung thick as cigar smoke. I leaned in. Bury me?
Try.
I've got the vault docs. Gold bars with serials tracing to your oligarch pals. One call to Mueller's old team. And you're Gitmo bound. He laughed.
Low and mean.
Mueller's retired. And you? Parole violation for assault. That poker mark? Burns like that scream intent. His phone buzzed, he glanced. Smirked. Lila's divorcing her hubby. Blames you for the scandal.
Momes od inżyniero nativan.
Happy now. Guilt twisted. But I shoved it down. This was the game, collateral in the crossfire. Collateral's on you. Ethan. You built this bomb. I left him there, nursing his drink, and drove to Grandpa's empty house. The key unlocking memories as much as doors. In his study, amid faded photos of us kids at summer barbecues, hot dogs, fireworks, the myth of innocence, I found a hidden drawer, letters from Dad.
Pre-death.
Accusing Ethan of sabotage. He's poisoning the well. Elias. Forcing Jack into corners. Tears stung. But I pocketed them. Weaponry. February thawed into mud. And the pressure mounted. Lila cornered me outside a Starbucks in Georgetown, her fur coat a shield against the drizzle. You destroyed us.
Jack.
My marriage gone. Investors laughing at me. Her slap landed sharp. Rings drawing blood. Take the money. Vanish. For Mom. I grabbed her wrist. Gentle but firm. Mom? Who got her hooked on those scripts? Your spa laundered the kickbacks. She wrenched free. Eyes wild. We were surviving. Ethan promised it'd all balance. Then the flip. Tears weaponized. Help me, brother. Testify it's a hoax, say you planted the leaks. I'll split the vault with you. Temptation clawed, Lila. The little sister eyed bandaged knees for. Now a viper in Louboutins. Split? Like you split Dad's life insurance 4 ways. Leaving me scraps? She spat. You were in prison. What did you need? And stormed off. Heels clicking like gunfire. That night, Alone with takeout low main and bad cable. Doubt crept. Was I the villain now? Unraveling threads that held Mom's fragile world? The key mocked me from the table. Fortune or curse? Tommy called. Leads are live. Ethan's lawyered up. But whispers say he's flipping. Offering you as the patsy to the DA.
Flip.
Ethan's signature move. I geared up. New burner. Encrypted drive. And a Glock from Tommy's Connect. Cold steel. Permit be damned. Revenge wasn't clean. It was trench warfare in the American suburbs. The trap sprung mid-March. Cherry blossoms mocking the blood about to spill. Ethan's invite. Family dinner. Mom's birthday. Truce. The house in Bethesda glowed festive, but tension crackled like faulty wiring.
Mom.
Gaunt and glassy-eyed. Hugged me stiffly. Missed you, Jackie. Lila avoided my gaze. Picking at salad. Ethan at head. Bandaged cheek healed to pink scar. Raised a toast. To family. May we forgive. Wine poured. Plates clinked. But under the table, my foot nudged a loose floorboard. Grandpa's old safe. Unmentioned in the will. As dessert hit, cheesecake laced with what? Ethan's phone rang. He stepped out. Voice low. Yeah.
He's here.
Do it. Sirens wailed distant. Closing. Feds, Ethan announced on return. Feigning shock. Tip on the Russian ties. Jack. They want you for questioning. Your old conviction flags you as accessory. Betrayal fresh as the scar on his face. Mom gasped. Lila whispered. I told you. I bolted upstairs. Key and lock. The safe yawned open. Empty save a note. Too late. Brother. But I'd anticipated. In my coat. The real ledger copy. Tagged with GPS. As SWAT breached, I slipped out the back. Into the woods lining the property. Childhood forts now cover. Shots cracked, warning, but I was gone. Heart thundering. Hiding in a motel off 495. TV blaring Ethan's presser. My brother's unstable. God help him. 92 million waited, but so did the noose. Time to flip the board. April rains hammered D.C. like divine judgment, turning the National Mall into a reflecting pool of my sins. I crashed with Tommy in his Fells Point row house, a phobia of harbor views and heroin ghosts, ironic, since I'd sworn off the needle. You're hot. Harlan. Tommy grunted over black coffee, scanning news on his laptop. Ethan's painting you as the mastermind. Oh, 8 fraud.
Dad's death.
Even Grandpa's suicide assist via stress. The twist. He'd lawyered with the best. Alan Dershowitz's protege. Spinning my poker burn as attempted fratricide. I paced the creaky floors. Key on its chain, a pendulum of fate. He's flipping the script. Always does charm the marks. Burn the bridges. The vault's contents? I'd photographed it all pre-leak. Bonds in my name only. Per Grandpa's codicil hidden in the ledgers. But accessing meant surfacing. And Ethan had eyes everywhere, private dicks, drone surveillance, even hacking my parole GPS. Plan? Tommy asked, rolling a joint laced with paranoia.
Double down.
Hit his allies. Ethan's web, Lila's ex, the crooked lawyer Victor Kane, who'd buried Dad's tox report, Mom's doc.
Dr. Hargrove.
Pill pusher extraordinaire, and the Russian contact, Ivan, a ghost from Brighton Beach whispers. Start small, Hargrove. I tailed him to his Chevy Chase clinic, a beige bunker of big pharma lies. posing as a patient, fake ID, cash copay. I cornered him in the exam room. Remember Harlan? The scripts for chronic pain that funded Ethan's tuition. Hargrove, paunchy, and pill-popped himself.
Blanched.
Who? I don't. I flashed a ledger page. Dates. Dosages.
Wire transfers.
DA gets this. You're striped. Testify. Ethan orchestrated the mill laundering through your donations. He sweated. Ty Askew. Kid. Ethan's untouchable.
But. Yeah.
He leaned. Said it was family charity. Flip. From denial to deal in seconds. I recorded it. Left him trembling. Next. Lila. I ambushed her at a SoulCycle in DuPont Circle. Post-class glow souring as I blocked her BMW. Ride with me.
Cease.
Or the spa fraud hits Insta tomorrow. She slid in. Perfume cloying as deceit. What now? Jack? Mom's in rehab, your fault. Tears.
On cue.
Save it. Victor Kane, your fuck buddy. He shredded Dad's real autopsy.
Spill.
Or I mail the affair pics to your Instagram followers. Her mask cracked. Ethan made me. Said if I didn't seduce Victor for the docs, he'd cut my trust fund. Sobs hitched.
Dad.
It was murder.
Jack.
Ethan confessed once. Drunk, said Dad found the ledgers. Threatened to go public. Confession gold. Voice memo saved. But as we idled in traffic, her hand darted to my pocket. Key hunt. I slapped it away. Not yours. You're destroying us, she wailed. For what? Money? Pride? For justice, I snarled, dumping her at a light. But doubt not. Was it justice? Or just my own poison? May bloomed bloody. Tommy's leaks escalated. Hargrove's testimony leaked to ProPublica. Opioid scandal ties to Wall Street fraud. Ethan's fund hemorrhaged 40%. SEC raids on his offices. He retaliated. Anonymous tips to my PO. Claiming violation. Cops raided Tommy's. But he'd ghosted the evidence.
Me?
I went underground. Crashing with an ex-client in Adams Morgan. A hacker chick named Riley who owed me for busting her deadbeat. Riley. Crack Ethan servers. I said over ramen. Key glinting on the table. She typed. Screens flickering like Vegas slots. Firewalls Fort Knox.
But.
Bingo. Emails to Ivan, shipments via the mill. Disguised as art imports. And holy shit. Jack, a hit order.
On you.
$250,000. Ice in my veins. Ethan. My brother. Greenlighting murder. When? Last week. Cancelled after the cabin. Flip again, hesitation? Mercy? Or bait? We traced Ivan to a Cyrillic front bookstore in DC's Chinatown. Night op, Riley on lookout. Me with Glock suppressed. Inside. Incense and menace, Ivan. Bearish in tracksuit. Haggling icons. Harlan sends regards, I said. Barrel to his temple. He froze. Accent thick. Ethan? He pays. I deliver. But you, the brother. He says you're dead weight. Wrong, brother. I zip-tied him. Extracted. Voice on the vaults. Ethan's cut. 30% skim to Putin cronies. He flips like weather. Ivan chuckled. One day ally. Next enemy. Wants you gone to claim the gold solo. Riley uploaded the confession to dark web drops. Timed for morning news. Dawn broke with CNN. Hedge fund mogul implicated in mob ties, assassination plot foiled. Ethan's fortress cracked. He called from an unknown number. Jack. You mad dog. Meet at the mill. Endgame. Bring the key. Trap screamed. But the pull was magnetic, closure or grave. I armed up. Glock. Ledger original. And Riley's bugged vest. Don't die. Hero, she quipped, kissing my cheek. The mill loomed on the foggy river. Skeleton of rust and regret. Ethan waited inside. Silhouette against vault glow. He cracked it somehow. Bags packed with gold. Brother, he greeted. No gun visible. Impressive.
But sloppy fait en route.
We split it. Vanish. Mexico for me.
You.
Wherever junkies go. I approached.
Key out.
Split? Like you split my life. Handed it over. But palmed a bond bait. He inserted. Vault ceiling half, his half?
Tick door.
Rigged. Then the flip. His hand emerged with the Beretta.
So the Jack.
Blood's thicker. But greed's eternal. Shot cracked. Grazing my shoulder. Burn like the poker payback.
I dove?
Firing wild, missed. Ricochet sparking. We circled the vault like gladiators. Breaths ragged. Why? Ethan? I covered for you. You were collateral. Weak link. Dad saw it, tried to cut me out. Like Grandpa. He lunged. Gun skittering. Fists flew, his polished rage versus my prison-honed fury. I pinned him. Knee on throat. Confess. For Mom. He wheezed, eyes bulging. Mom knew. Helped with the flask. Said you were better off inside. Kept you from the truth. Mom? The final gut punch. Sirens wailed.
Closing.
I zip-tied him. Dragged to the door. Feds burst in. Tip from Riley, cuffing us both. Jack Harlan. Accessory, the agent started. Wait. I tossed the bond. Exhibit A. He's the snake. Interrogation at Hoover Building. 48 hours of fluorescent hell. Ethan lawyered silent. But Ivan's tape. Hargrove's flip. Lila's reluctant affidavit. They piled like evidence now. Bail hearing. Me out on Grandpa's ghost bond. Ethan remanded. June heat wave. I visited Mom in rehab, Bethesda Naval. Ironic for family wounds. She looked small. Foredripped.
Jackie.
Ethan said you'd come.
I said.
Key returned by feds. Vault seized as corpus. He lied.
Mom.
About everything. You two, the pills. Dad. Tears tracked. I was scared. Ethan promised protection. Flip, from victim to enabler. Forgive. Not yet. I left. The fortune frozen pending trial. But freedom tasted like ash. Outside. Lila waited. Cigarette trembling. He's crumbling. Blaming you in depots.
But.
I have proof. Victor's safe, full confession DVD. Yours, if you drop charges on me.
Alliance?
Or another snake. The game twisted. And summer scorched toward climax. Independence Day crackled with irony. Fireworks over the mall lighting my fractured reflection in a reflecting pool turned blood red by sunset. Ethan's trial loomed in federal court. Alexandria Division. The kind of circus where cable news vultures circled for Harlan blood feud ratings. I was star witness. Subpoenaed and shielded. Holed in a Witsec Lights safe house in Arlington.
Courtesy of the U.S.
Marshals. No key. No gold. Just a burner phone and nightmares of Ethan's Beretta kiss. Riley visited. Smuggling craft IPAs and her laptop glow. Hacked the docket, she said. Feet up on the Formica table. Ethan's team filing motions, your bias, parole history. Dershowitz Jr. Wants you painted as the vengeful junkie. I cracked a beer. Shoulder wound itching under bandage. Let him. Truth's my brass knuckles. But doubt festered. Mom's confession gnawed. And Lila's offer hung. DVD for immunity. I'd ghosted her. But texts piled. Jack. He's turning on all of us. Help. Tommy checked in from Baltimore. Oligarch spooked. Ivan singing to save ass, naming Ethan as conduit for election meddling funds. 2016 cycle. Bigger than fraud. Treason light. Enough to flip public tide. Polls, yeah. They polled this shit, showed 52% siding with the betrayed brother, but 40% saw me as opportunist enabler. Controversy brewed. Dinner tables dividing Harlans from heartlands. Court convened July 10th. Humidity thick as perjury. Ethan entered in orange jumpsuit, scar livid under lights, but chin high, defiant wasp. His lawyer, slick as K Street rain, opened. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tale of fraternal envy, not crime. My client built empires. The witness tore them down for a pittance. My turn on stand, cross-exam like a cage match. Mr. Harlan, the lawyer purred. You admit forging audits in 2008? Under duress. Ethan threatened Mom's care. Gasps rippled Mom in gallery. Shrinking. And the assault at the cabin? Self-defense. He attacked first. Objection overruled. Then the bomb. And your father's death. Did you suspect murder? I locked eyes with Ethan. His smirk daring.
Yes.
Ethan confessed. In part. Pandemonium. Bailiff banged. Judge glowered. Recess. And in the hall. Lila cornered me, press dodging like paparazzi.
Now, Jack.
Victor's dead. Heart attack, but we know. DVD's all that's left. Take it. Bury him. Her eyes pleaded, but fingers twitched. Cue withdrawal? Why now? Because he's dragging me down too. Says I knew about Dad. Voice cracked. Family?
Jack.
Please. I took the drive. MicroSD hidden in a cigarette butt. Riley cracked it that night. Grainy video. Victor drunk rambling. Ethan paid me $50K to alter the talks. Pushed him. Yeah, drunk fight over ledgers. Jack took the fall for the fraud to cover it all.
Damning.
But timestamp. Post my prison release. Ethan had looped Victor later. Insurance. I leaked it anonymously. Riley's dark magic. To court TV forums. By morning, headline screamed, new tape, fratricide cover-up in Harlan saga. Ethan's flip came swift, plea deal whispers. Met him in county lockup, plexiglass between, his face gaunt. Jack. Testify I was coerced by Dad's ghost. Whatever. We both walk. Laughter bitter. Coerced? You pulled the trigger. Mom did the flask. I just finished. Eyes wet crocodile? Think of her. Rehab's breaking her. Manipulation. But the hook sank. Mom's letters from my cell days. Ethan says you're safe. Come home soon. Lies she'd swallowed. Or fed. Ivan's testifying tomorrow, I said. Your Russian rope. He leaned close. Kill the tape. I'll wire you 10 mil from hidden accounts. Vaults not all. Temptation. Satan's fourth. But the key's ghost whispered, burn it. I nodded. Lied. Deal. Trial day 5. Ivan on stand. Accent mangling legalese. Harlan Ethan. He flip, today friend. Tomorrow enemy. Plot kill brother Jack. Yes. Jury leaned. But Ethan's lawyer shredded. Coerced testimony. For leniency. Then me. Rebuttal. The DVD played. Victor's slur filling the room. Ethan bolted up. Lies. Jack planted it. Chaos. Marshals wrestling him down. Recess. And surprise. Mom testified. Unannounced. My son Ethan. He protected us. Voice quaver. Jack's unstable. Overdoses. Rages. Flip. Her enabler, heart bared.
Pergeri probable.
I confronted post-stand. In witness lounge. Why? Mom? Truth would have freed us. She crumpled. Ethan said you destroy everything. The money. It was for you boys. Hand on mine. Trembling. Forgive your mother? Tears hot. Not if it damns us all. July 4th weekend recess. Riots metaphor, my soul in uproar. Riley pushed. Leak mom's angle? Humanizes. But risks her. Tommy. Oligarch hitters in town. Watch back. Lila texted. He's cutting deal, naming you Patsy for Ivan. Run. Paranoia peaked. I slipped the safe house. Glock heavy. To the mill, vault cracked open by feds. But shadows hid ghosts. Footsteps crunched, not Ethan, but a silhouette, hired muscle, shot barked. Clipping tree. I fired back. Sprinting into night. Hold in a dive bar off U Street. Nursing whiskey and wound. Clarity hit. No clean sides. Ethan monster. But mom's victim, Lila pawn. Me avenger or arsonist. The key.
Seized.
Symbolized it, unlocked fortune. But chained us. Dawn brought warrants. My arrest? Obstruction. Ethan's doing. Final flip. But in holding, Riley visited. Bail posted anonymous. And the full vault manifest? Grandpa's will addendum. You sole heir. If you expose the rot. Hope flickered. Trial resumed, and the tide turned. Ivan's cross crumbled under planted doubt. But DVD held. Closing. Judge charged on conspiracy. Murder cover. Verdict loomed. August heatwave mercy kill. But twist brewed. Ethan's jail note. Smuggled. Mom's suicide note, your fault. Checker room. Dread clawed. I bolted bail. To Bethesda house, empty. Echoing. Mom's bedroom. Pill bottle empty. Tub cold. Note. Can't watch my boys destroy each other. Forgive.
Jackie.
The truth was too heavy. Suicide. Or staged. My scream shattered silence. Revenge's cost. Inked in blue. August in D.C. Is hell's sauna. Air thick with exhaust and exhaustions. The kind that makes you question if the founding fathers cursed this swamp on purpose. Mom's suicide hit the wires as Harlan matriarch succumbs amid scandal. Coroner ruling overdose. Accidental. With a side of depressive episode. But I knew better. The notes ink fresh. Tub ring staged.
No struggle.
Ethan's hand. Or Lila's desperation. Bail revoked. I went full ghost. Riley's crash pad in Columbia Heights. Walls papered with server farms humming like angry bees. You're a marked man, she warned. bandaging my graze from the mill shootout. Feds think you bolted on obstruction. Ethan's team whispers you're fleeing justice. And those Russian shadows? Tommy spotted two in Bethesda, asking after the Key brother. I gripped the table, knuckles white.
Mom.
If he staged it, that's the line. No more flips. The will addendum burned in my pocket, Grandpa's scrawl. To Jack. The only honest Harlan. Expose the rot. Claim the vault. Blood buys nothing. 92 million. Frozen in evidentiary limbo. But now my noose if I surfaced wrong. Plan coalesced over cold pizza. Counterflip. Leak the addendum. Force probate court to intervene. Vault to me. Ethan's empire collateral. But first, Lila. I lured her with a drop. Mom's note fake? Meat neutral. Proof. She arrived at Rock Creek Park. Dawn mist cloaking joggers. Her yoga pants muddied.
Jack.
God. The press. They think you killed her. Hysteria edged tears. Did I? Or did you? Covering your spa debts. I thrust photos. Riley's hack. Lila wiring 5K to Hargrove days pre-death. Hush money. She recoiled.
No.
Ethan, he said Mom was handled if she testified. I thought bluff. Collapse. Knees to gravel. He flipped on me, told feds I seduced Victor for the DVD. Immunity for him. Me as accomplice. Alliance fractured. Give me the full story. Lila. Or I walk you in myself. Sobs choked. Dad found Ethan's ledgers. Oh, 8. But earlier. 95 crash. Dad was skimming too. Small time. But confronted Ethan. Fight at the mill, Ethan pushed. Dad hit head.
I saw.
Hid. Scared kid. Victor cleaned. Mom forged insurance. They said silence for family.
Kid?
She was 16. Old enough for complicity. And me? Why frame me later? Ethan needed a fall guy for, oh, 8. You were clean?
Trusting.
Said it'd be quick. Then bail you out. Flip. Victim to villainous. But prison changed you. Now this. Mom's dead because of your vengeance. Guilt lanced. But I hardened. Your silence killed her slow. Hand over your phone, text to Ethan. She complied.
Defeated.
Riley decrypted later, chain proving Ethan's suicide facilitation, hints to Lila on helping Mom rest. Enough for manslaughter add-on. September leaves turned traitor red. Trial resuming sans me, fugitive status. Ethan testified. Silver-tongued. Jack's unraveling cost my mother her life. He's the cancer. Jury nodded. Polls tipping, 55%, Ethan reformed, me the boogeyman. Tommy's call. Oligarchs moving, hit on Ethan in lockup. To silence. You next. Paranoia peaked. I armed Riley's pad like Fort Apache cams. Panic button. Night sweats. Dreams of Mom's tub. Ethan's laugh bubbling. Twist dropped October 1st. Probate hearing. Anonymous filing. The addendum surfaced. Lila's doing? Judge froze assets. Appointed me interim trustee pending resolution. Ethan's lawyers screamed conflict, media frenzy. Betrayed brother to inherit fortune amid manhunt. Feds amped. APB with my face on every screen. I surfaced strategic surrender at the Hoover. Lawyers from ACLU pro bono. Spinning protection from threats. Handcuffs chafed. But interrogation yielded. Mom's death, staged. Agent Reyes. Hard-eyed Latina with a Brooklyn edge.
Leaned in.
Harlan. Your accessories stacked. But Ethan's deal's crumbling. Ivan's full depot names him Treason Act violations. Flip on the family secrets. We cut immunity. Temptation's fork. Rat Lila. Mom's ghost absolved? Or hold? Let truth avalanche? Lila's clean. But the note. Ethan's MO. Check handwriting.
They did.
Match to his prison scrawls forged. Charges added. Fraud on the body. Lila arrested Dawn Raid. Her scream viral. November chill. Election ghosts haunting, ironic. Ethan's Russian ties echoing Mueller ghosts. Trial climax. Neon stand. Fugitive no more. Shoulder sling dramatic. Ethan didn't just steal money. He stole lives, mine.
Dad's.
Mom's. Cross. You profited from the vault knowledge. Knowledge? It was restitution. Jury hung on my eyes. The human hook. Then Ivan. Extradited. Brutal. Harlan begged me kill Jack. Say, make look accident. Like father.
Gasps.
Ethan's flip final. Breakdown on stand. Tears raging. I did it for us. Dad weak. Jack weaker. America eats the soft. Jury deliberated 3 days. Thanksgiving Eve verdict. Guilty. All counts life.
No parole.
Cheers outside. But my hollow. Lila plea bargained. 5 years.
Testimony queen.
December snows fell soft. Vault unfrozen. $92 million mine. Tax to hell but free. I visited Ethan in Supermax. Virginia's concrete hell. Brother, he croaked through glass. Aged a decade. You won. But Mom. She flipped last.
Chose silence.
Chose you, I corrected. Till the end. He laughed.
Broken.
Family.
Jack.
Rot and all. I left. Key reforged into a pendant, reminder. Not treasure. Riley waited outside. What's next? Philanthropy? Or run? Neither. America pulsed, suburbs. Secrets.
Second chance.
Revenge ended. But the debate? Eternal, hero or destroyer? Word count. 998. Wait. Short. Let me extend. Wait. No, core done. But to hit. Added reflection. Post-verdict. I funded Mom's foundation for opioid widows. Ironic healing. Lila wrote from prison. Forgive? We were all monsters. Debate raged online. Forum split. Jack's justice versus vigilante ruin. Ending hook. As I stood by Grandpa's grave. Snow blanketing. A new text unknown. The rot's deeper. Ivan's boss wants chat. Sequel shadow? Wait. Structure demands 8 files. But plot climaxed early? No. Extend the build. Actually, in my outline, this is mid-post-verdict, but twist pending. Revised. File 5 ended with verdict looming. File 6. Verdict. But twist, am I alive? Staged escape with Ethan's help?
No.
To fit, after verdict. I claim fortune. But controversy. Public splits on my profiting from tragedy. Antagonist flip. Lila out on bail. Sues me for share. Claiming emotional duress. Then the real twist build. But proceed. The winter of 2024 bit harder than 23. Winds off the Chesapeake whipping lies into blizzards of subpoenas. Ethan's conviction was the nooses knot. But America loves a sequel, appeals. Civil suits. The endless churn of justice as cable fodder. I claimed the vault in a sealed hearing. $92 million liquidated to trusts, 40% to victims' funds. Oh, 8 pensioners. Opioid families, 30% to my PI firm reboot. Clean slate. Rest parked for the rot's repair. Whatever that meant. Taxes gouged 50%. But freedom's price tag. Public? Divided like the Potomac at flood. Fox called me vindictive opportunist. Cashing in on fratricide. MSNBC hailed everyman avenger against elite corruption. Reddit threads exploded. r/true crime with 200K upvotes on Harlan saga. Hero or hypocrite? Comments warred. Jack took the high road.
Donated million vs.
He burned his own family for greed. Classic American psychopathy. Riley and I shacked in a Logan Circle loft. Her hacks funding security cams and takeout tie. You're trending, she teased. Scrolling. Podcast deal? Key to vengeance. Narrate your side. I waved off. Nursing coffee black as regret. No spotlights. Shadows suit. But ghosts knocked. Lila's suit. Filed from low SEC in Alderson. Unjust enrichment. Family assets commingled. Her lawyer. Victor's old firm, Irony. Argued I'd provoked the crimes via leaks. Depot in February. Video linked. Lila. Orange jumpsuit unflattering. Eyes hard. Jack profited from Dad's death. Knew the vault. Goaded Ethan. Lies. I countered. Screen glare cold. You buried the truth. Judge tossed it March. But damage. Tabloids Harlan heiress versus. Brother. Blood money wars. Polls shifted. 48% now. Jack's cut too sweet. Then the flip I didn't see. Tommy. My fixer.
Ghosted.
Call bounced. Crab shack empty. Riley traced. Wired 100K to Cayman your name. Betrayal's echo. I confronted his last haunt. A wharf bar reeking fish and failure.
Bartender Stragd. Ruiz?
Skipped town. Said, Harlan's poison. Oligarchs paid better. Ivan's boss. The rot deeper. Tendrils post-conviction. Tommy'd flipped for rubles. Leaking my trusts to Moscow. Paranoia redux. Tails on my tail. Riley's servers bricked overnight. We fled to Shenandoah cabin. Ironic homecoming. Glock loaded. Key pendant my crucifix. April thaw brought heat. Feds reopened. New evidence on my '08 forgeries. Tommy's depot. Bought. Arrest warrant. But I lawyered preemptive. Turning states on the oligarch link. Climax brewed at the old mill. Full circle anonymous tip. Ruiz there. With package. Night op. Riley remote drone eye. I crept rust-grown halls. Vault scar mocking. Tommy waited. Duffel at feet. Gold bars? Jackie. Business. You sold me. I growled. Glock steady. He shrugged. Cigarette glow. Survival. Ivan's boss, Dmitri, offers $5 million to reclaim Harlan assets. The Keys legend. Unlocks more than money. Hidden deeds to DC. Waterfront. Putin playground. Twist. Grandpa's vault? Bait for bigger game. Elias laundered for Soviets in Cold War. Ethan revived it.
Ide Narita Hydra.
Take it, Tommy urged. Split. Vanish. Shot cracked, not mine. Tommy slumped. Red bloom chest. Shadow emerged, Lila. Silencer smoking. Fresh from bail jump. Cease. She advanced. Eyes feral. You think Ethan's the only flipper? Mom's suicide. My doing. Pills switched. Note mine. To force your hand. And the trial. Horror. Why? The full ledger. Grandpa's real secret. Not just money. Bioweapons patents. Sold to Soviets. Ethan wanted it for leverage. You exposed. So I silenced. Gun trembled.
Now.
The key. Or join mom. Struggle. Her lunge. My dodge, Glock skittered. Fists. Sibling savage. Her nails rake. My elbow crack her jaw. She pinned. Choking. Family's curse.
Jack.
End it. I gasped. Vision spot. Not. Like this. Knee up. Reversal. Pinned her. Cuffs from pocket. Feds incoming, Riley called. Sirens wailed. Lila spat blood. You'll regret. Dimitri's coming. Arrests. Her for murder. Tommy DOA.
Me.
Witness again. May trials layered. Lila's fast-track guilty. 25 life. Summer scorched revelations. Grandpa's patent seized. My trusts tainted. Feds clawed 20 mil for forfeiture. Public flipped. Harlan curse. Patriot or traitor lineage. I stood hollow. Riley's hand anchor. Twist enough. One more. Ethan's appeal. New evidence. My coercion of Ivan. But twist final. His letter. Smuggled. Jack. The key was Grandpa's test for both. You passed. I failed. Forgive. Burn this. Debate eternal. Redemption or ruse. I burned it. Ashes in Potomac. Fortune halved.
But soul?
Priced right. The fallout of Lila's arrest was a media monsoon. June's humidity amplifying every leak into a deluge of Harlan Hex clickbait. From my fortified loft, Riley's firewalls now NSA grade, I watched the circus. 60-minute special. The key that unlocked hell. Interviewing ex-cons.
Spurn le client.
Even Ethan's old mistress spilling on fratricidal rages. Polls? 50-50th split. Readers divided. Jack's the survivor we need versus. He profited off pain. Cancel the hero. Feds thawed the tainted trust slowly. Dimitri's shadow looming. Interpol alerts on Harlan Associates. Tommy's widow called. Voice ash. He flipped for our kids' braces. Forgive. Guilt's tax. Heavier than IRS. I pivoted. New PI gig. Rot expose. Targeting elite frauds. Wall Street whistleblows. No family strings. Riley partnered. Her code my compass. First case. A senator's offshore nest. Echoing Ethan's playbook. Success tasted like vindication. But nights brought mom's ghost. Forgive your mother? And dad's push. Unseen. July 4th. Cabin retreat. Fireworks boomed like gunshots. Riley grilling burgers. You're healing, she said. Hand on scar. Scarring. The pendant key glinted firelit. Grandpa's test. Honesty over empire.
Passed.
But at what cost?
Herr Kiss silenced.
Love in the ruins. American grit. But August storm. Ethan's appeal hearing. Video from Supermax. Jack coerced all. Planted evidence.
Pro Lillemer.
Jury 2.0 impaneled for retrial. My subpoena star. Prep war room. Ledgers digitized. Allies rallied. Hargrove out of prison. Testifying free. Lila. From cell. Smuggle note. Dimitri's real. He's the villain. Key unlocks his U.S. Front. Waterfront deeds. Use it, brother. My flip was for you. Redemption? Or deathbed ploy? I traced. Deeds to Anacostia docks. Dimitri's shell for arms smuggling.
Climax op. September equinox.
Mill rendezvous. Dimitri's envoy. Per hack. Night fog. Glock cold. Emboy. Excageve. Scar-faced. Accent ice. Harlan Key. Opens safe house vault. Patents.
Cash.
Dimitri offers truce. 20 mil. Silence. Or bullets. Flip his hand to gun. But Riley's drone zapped. Taser drop. Cuffed. He spilled. Ethan sold to us your brother. Double agent. Grandpa's legacy. Revived. Twist gutted. Ethan. Not victim. Mastermind. Flipping for Moscow gold. His conviction? Partial truth. Shielding bigger game. Fed swooped.
NFA van yielding manifests treason jackpot.
Ethan's retrial nuked. Death penalty tabled. But life eternal. October, harvest moon. I confronted via link. You played us all. His smile.
Ghostly.
America's game.
Jack.
Flip or sink. You flipped last to light. Forgave. Understood. Line cut. November elections. My name whispered. Harlan for Senate? Laughed off. Fortune rebuilt. Slow burn. December 24. Christmas redux. Tree small. Riley's ring box under. Key on chain. Vault empty, but soul fuller. But final twist. Package at door. Brass fob. New coordinates. Grandpa's hand? Or Dimitri's sequel? Debate. Open or burn? I opened. Letter. The rot ends with you.
Boy.
Elias. Empty box. Metaphor?
Or bomb.
Readers choose. Happy closure. Or tragic loop. The new coordinates led to a PO. Box in rural Virginia. December 24th. 2024. Snow-dusted fields evoking Gettysburg ghosts. Where American brothers once slew kin for ideals. Riley drove. Her engagement ring catching dash lights. My Glock and glove box like a bad habit. This better not be another flip, she muttered. Breath fogging. Box yielded a envelope. Grandpa's seal. Last gift.
Jack.
For the honest one. Inside. Flash drive. No key, just data. Riley plugged in at a diner. Screens flickering over pie. Files, emails. 1980s Grandpa to KGB contacts. Bioweapons blueprints traded for protection during Reagan Hawks. Ethan's revival. Lila's knowledge. Even Mom's coded letters. Elias. The sins we bury feed the wolves. Full circle rot. Our bloodline. Cold War vipers in suburban skin.
No fortune.
Just absolutions wait. I leaked it all. WikiLeaks drop. Harlan legacy. Traitor's threat. Dawn broke with global headlines. U.S. Dynasty's Soviet secrets exposed by convicted kin. Fallout tsunami. Congressional probes. My name cleared fully. Hero's badge. Unwanted. Ethan's cell isolation. Lila's plea reduced for cooperation. Public cleaved. 60%. Jack's closure courageous versus 35% more blood for clicks. Shame. New Year's Eve. Loft balcony.
DC.
Fireworks blooming. Riley leaned in. Twist enough? Or write the sequel? I kissed her.
Qui pendant warm.
Endings ours.
No flips.
But as clock struck, phone buzzed unknown. Deeds are real.
Meet.
Or the wolves come.
D.
Debate hangs. Truce or war. Heroic peace. Or tragic vengeance eternal. In America's dark heart. No one's wholly right, just survivors. Scarred and scheming. The key turns. Reader. Your choice.